All right, for number 10, we're doing x plus 2 divided by x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus 2 divided by x plus 2. It's actually number 11. We're going to start this problem just like we've started the rest. We need to factor anything that we can factor. We can't do anything with our x plus 2, so it's just going to stay. But then at the bottom, we have x squared plus 4x plus 4. We can factor that one using the x method. So we're going to have 4 on top and a 4 on bottom. We want something that multiplies to 4 and adds to 4. It's going to be 2 and 2. So on the bottom of my first fraction, we're going to have x plus 2 times x plus 2. And again, we're adding to that, plus 2 divided by x plus 2. I can't simplify anything in that second one, so we're just going to leave it. If you can cancel stuff out at this point, go ahead and do that. I noticed that we have an x plus 2 on top and 1 on the bottom. So remember, that leaves just a 1 on top. So I really have 1 over x plus 2 over x plus 2. Now, since my denominators match, I can just add the top. So I can do 1 plus 2 over x plus 2. The bottom stays the same. That means that my final answer is going to be 3 over x plus 2. The second one, we have 3 divided by x squared minus x minus 6 plus 2 divided by x squared plus 5x plus 6. Same thing, we're going to factor anything we can factor. So the top of my first fraction will stay the same, and then we need to factor the bottom. When I do that, we're going to use the x method. We want something that multiplies to negative 6 and adds to negative 1. It's going to be negative 3 and 2. So we're going to have x minus 3 and x plus 2. And then we're adding to that. The top of the second one stays the same, 2 over. And then for the bottom again, we can use our x method. 6 goes on top. What multiplies to 6? What adds to 5? It's going to be 2 and 3. 2 times 3 gives me 6. 2 plus 3 gives me 5. So that means on the bottom here we have x plus 2 and x plus 3. Now, we don't have a common denominator. The two bottom things do not match, so we need to figure out what our common denominator is going to be. If I look at my first one, I notice that they both have an x plus 2, so that's great. My first one has an x minus 3, and my second one doesn't. So for the second one, we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by x minus 3. And then the second one has an x plus 3, and the bottom one doesn't. So we're going to multiply the top by x plus 3. And then I'm going to zoom out so I have room for it. We're also going to multiply the bottom by x plus 3. That means that in total, my common denominator for my entire fraction is going to be x plus 3 times x minus 3 times x plus 2. I'm going to simplify the top, so I'm going to distribute the 3. When I do that, I have 3x. If I do 3 times 3, I get 9. And then we're going to add to that plus whatever this is distributed. 2 times x gives me 2x. 2 times negative 3 gives me a negative 6. We're going to go ahead and combine our like terms on the top. So I notice I have 3x and 2x, which gives me 5x. And then we have 9 minus 6, which gives me a 3. So we'd have 5x plus 3. The denominator stays the same. So we have x plus 3, x minus 3, and x plus 2. The last thing you want to consider is, can you simplify the top? Is there something I can take out of 5x and 3? For this example, there isn't. So this is actually going to be my final answer. So we'd have 5x plus 3 divided by x plus 3, x minus 3, and x minus 2. If you could cancel things out, then go ahead and do that. But for this one, we're just done right there.